together to defend our liberty and unity. Oh, sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sun and flesh of the sky, let us make Africa a tree of life. Let us all unite and sing together to uphold the bonds that frame our destiny. Let us dedicate ourselves to fight together for lasting peace and justice on earth. Oh, sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sun and flesh of the sky, let us make Africa the tree of life. Let us all unite and talk.
Hello, welcome to Josh Moments. So if you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like and share this video. And if you don't know what we talk about on this channel, we talk about Africa's history, and today we'll be looking at prehistoric Africa. So without any further much ado, let's get underway with today's episode. So Africa's prehistory have been largely ignored, with the exception of research into human evolution. And Africa can boast of one of the earliest record of human habitations in the world. And then the first hominin were said to have evolved in Africa around 6 to 7 million years ago. And sites such as Omo Kibish in Ethiopia, Jebel Ehud in Safi, Morocco, and then Florisbad in Brantford Town, South Africa, are said to be some of the earliest sites which the hominid or evolution occurred, whereas they spread to other parts of the world. So Africa south of the Sahara's archaeology is divided into two. First, the Neolithic being divided into three, which is the early, middle, and later Stone Age. And after this period comes the pastoral Neolithic, metal using Africa, and then the historical period. So let's look at all these stages of Africa's prehistory. So we look at the early Stone Age Africa. So the early Stone Age is said to have been approximately spanned 2.6 million years in Africa's prehistory, where the first stone tools were made, and these tools were the Odoan tools and then Achillean. And then early site along the East African Rift in Lomekwi in the Tekena Basin, Kenya, and then further south Olduvai Gok, which is in modern-day Tanzania, are some of the earliest sites which these tools were recorded to have been found. And then the earliest hominid were found in Ethiopia and then titled Ardipithecus remedus. So the earliest relative dating for stone tools or tools used were discovered in 2015 by Sonia Hamad, and then at Lomekwi 3, West Tekana, Kenya, with stone tools dating 3.3 million years ago. And these stone tools were said to be different from that of Odoan tools, and then they were a bit heavier compared to the Odoan tools. And then these stone tools were said to have been made by Australopithecus afarensis. So incorporation of these tools into their daily lives ensured hominids were able to adapt to environmental changes, and then made it possible for them to move to other places. So let's look at the Middle Stone Age Africa. So the Middle Stone Age Africa, roughly dating from 280,000 to 40,000 years ago, is characterized by the continuation of hunter-gatherer lifestyle. And then even though hominids' brains were said to have evolved and then modernized, which could be attributed to modern cognition and modern behavior, however, they were said to be a bit primitive because they couldn't adapt fast. So they subsisted, or they relied on assorted plants, and then numerous maidens indicated their diet. So Homo sapiens appeared in the archaeological record around 300 to 270,000 years ago, and then they developed a more advanced method of tool making, which involved striking flakes from a prepared core. So this permitted them to manufacture tools that could help them meet the needs of daily life. Yes. So let's look at later Stone Age Africa. So later Stone Age Africa also began when the Hofme scar, a specimen of 36,000 years ago, was discovered in Hofme in 1952 at South Africa. Yes, so around 10,000 years ago, 10,000 BCE. Yes, around 10,000 BCE. So these macroleaf tools were useful in harvesting wild grasses and also for production of bonefish hooks. So the osteological analysis by the Max Planck Institute of Evolutionary Anthropology indicate that the cranium, which is the Hofme specimen, is said to have been have a similarity with modern Khoisan people of sub-equatorial Africa. So now let's look at pastoral Neolithic Africa. So cultural development led to nomadic lifestyle to be slowly supplanted by pastoralism. So earliest record of domesticated animals in North Africa. Don't forget, pastoralism mainly occurred in Northern Africa. Earliest record of pastoralism recorded in Northern Africa could be found in Saharan rock art and then also at Gobero. So as the Sahara increased in size due to lack of rain or drought, the nomads or the pastoralists migrated south and then to the eastern part of the continent, and also they carry with them their herding lifestyles. So in the Western Sahel, settlement community occurred largely because of the domestication of sorghum and of millet. So symbiotic trade relations developed among Africans before the trans-Saharan trade in response to the opportunities offered by various parts of the continent. So the agriculturalists received salt from the desert nomads, and then the desert nomad also received food and then meat and other commodities from the pastoralists. And then the forest dwellers also provided fare and meat. So let's come to metal using Africa, or metal age or iron age. So farming societies in Africa developed as a result of the rise and origin of pastoralism. So metallurgy were utilized by farming communities, and then earliest use of metallurgy by farming communities is said to have been from 3,000 to 2,000 years ago. So in central Nigeria, West Africa, the Nok culture developed somewhere around 1500. The Nok people produced lifelike representation in terracotta, which included human heads and human figures, elephants and other animals. However, by 15 BC and probably earlier, or a few centuries earlier, they were said to have been smelting iron. By 200 AD, the Nok culture had vanished. However, based on stylistic similarities with the Nok terracottas, the bronze figurines of the Yoruba kingdom of Ife and those of Benin kingdom are now believed to be continuation of the traditional Nok people. So let's look at historical Africa. Historical Africa, trade with the Near East and Europe led to mercantile empires being established, and then kingdom, states, and polities also emerged. So let's look at some of these kingdoms like the Igbo Oku, Jene-Jeno, Timbuktu, Kumbisela, Mali Empire, Old Ghana Empire, Fatimid dynasty, the Ptolemaic Egypt, among other, the Songhai Empire, all evolved or emerged as a result of trade, and then as a result of modernization on the African continent at that time. So the Bantu people of Southern Africa built the impressive site of the Great Zimbabwe around the 13th to 15th century. And then the north of the continent also had close economic and then cultural ties with the medieval Mediterranean. Cattle herding became important in the Horn of Africa, and then large earthworks were built to corral these animals. So the people of Christian Ethiopia also built impressive rock-cut monolithic churches, such as that of St. George at Lalibela during the 13th century, and the first Portuguese port appeared soon after this, penetrating as far as south as Zambia. So from the late 15th centuries, Europeans joined the slave trade, and then later, which include the triangular slave trade, and then initially they acquired slaves and then later applied force. So they transported enslaved West, Central and then Southern Africa overseas. However, following the struggle for independence in many parts of Africa, as well as weakening Europe after World War II, 1939 to 1945, decolonization took place across the continent of Africa, leading to 1960 as the Year of Africa. So we end today's episode here. However, disciplines such as oral history, recording of oral history, historical linguistics, archaeology, and then genetics have been vital in rediscovering the great African civilization of antiquity. So if you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like and share this video. We'll see you in the next episode. But before we go, I want to leave you with this quote. One day our life will become history. What will posterity say about you? See you in the next episode.